The first thing we have to imagine is the whole world is running. You start from the material that the sun is moving in the galaxy, the earth is moving around the sun, the moon is moving around the earth. On the earth, the plants are growing, plants are dying, the rains are coming to serve the plants, flowers are blossoming, leaves are increasing, decreasing, everything is happening. Is it out of any desire anywhere? Nowhere there is desire. It is natural. Suppose there had been desire, then nature would not have been so beautiful. We are spoiling the beauty of nature because of our desire, which finally converts into greed. If we were free of that, we would not have made such skyscrapers, spoiling nature. We would not. Earlier days, even if they had made certain things of height or so. But you will not find generally violating nature. Even if they protect water for their use, they will put a bandh. But not like Bhakranangal Dam, which will cause earthquake. We cannot blame the earth for that because you have collected too much of water for the earth to keep its balance. If I put here 100 kg weight, will you not have to bend to hold it, or you will fall? Like that, if you disbalance the earth by putting so much on one position, earthquake is a response to that. It is not the earth is taking revenge, it is a response of the earth. So we are not aware of it because of our selfishness and greed for power and all, we have done it. So the whole nature, the plants are growing, the flowers are blossoming, not out of desire. Suppose the small grass flower, white grass flower, it is also blossoming with its full beauty as a small white grass flower. The rose also is blossoming as a big fragrant rose with its all beauty. The grass flower looking at the rose doesn't think that, oh, everybody is praising the rose, let me become like the rose. If it starts doing it, then all kinds of wrong things will happen. So it is only with the human being that we think of desire. Otherwise, what will you do? When we are hungry, we will take food. For that, if you have to cultivate, we will do the cultivation. For that, if you have to produce fruits, we will produce fruits. Everything we will do, whatever is needed. Similarly, in the field of activities also, whatever I am capable of, and whatever the society needs, according to that I will get engaged in the activities. Now what happens is that, suppose a person is very good, has got great artistic talent, either in music or in art, any other. Now, because the IT field is very much, demand is there, and it is well paid, best paid or so, such a person also takes to computer application and becomes an IT professional. It is because of the desire for power and money or whatever. Suppose even in education, the moment some businessmen felt that there is enough money by running some schools, they started opening schools and grabbing money, admitting all Tom, Dick and Harry who has nothing to do with the education. Wrong people, just because they give money, they have been given higher education. It is all flouting the natural law because of desire. Desire for money, desire for power, whatever you may say. Normally, what would have happened? Those who are given to studies would have taken to education. In that field, whatever is our talent, according to that we will choose the field. Automatically it was happening. In our country, it was flowing for thousands of years. Each person used to excel in his own field. That is why we excelled in all, fact, in sculpture, in weaving, in cloth. Everywhere we had excellence. Because people given to nothing was degraded, everything was honored. Even a manual labor was honored. Those who can do that, they will do. Those who can excel in art, they will excel in art. You cannot imagine the kind of excellence we have in art and culture. The music, anywhere in the world you have this kind of classical music, that too of different forms. Even the drama or nritya, that is dance. All forms of music, vocal, art, culture, even in science, Ayurveda. Ayurveda, the first introductory shloka is that a doctor, an Ayurvedic physician, is not a physician if he is not able to enter the body of the patient with the lamp of knowledge. Do you follow me? The doctors? A physician is not a physician if he is not able to enter the body of the patient with the lamp of knowledge. So, what kind of lamp of knowledge is necessary for that? It has to be very subtle and wholesome and comprehensive. That is why it is called Ayurveda. Ayuhu means the treatment should increase your life forces and give it a proper life span. It is not to treat this disease, that disease, or just to specific, and in the process of giving medicine which will create other diseases. So this excellence in all the professions came without so much of instrumentation also. The excellence in science has come after the Western world. That is also great. But we have lost track of it because of our own greed, and we're not being able to utilize it properly. That has to be checked. So, coming back to our point, if we do not have the desire as a motivation, there is no problem at all. You will do whatever you can do and whatever the society needs in the best possible manner. And you will do it excellently also. The real excellence will blossom out of it. Desire actually makes us do the wrong things, which is not our dharma, not our proper quality or so. We enter into such. The whole education system will be spoiled if it always remains with the businessman. Our education in our country was given by people who would not accept any remuneration also. Knowledge can never be sold. That is why we are sticking to this. When we first went to USA for workshop or lecture or so, retreat, everybody said that in this country, if you don't accept fees for the program, nobody is going to come. Nobody will value. Unless you charge for your lecture, in USA, nobody will come. Nobody will value your lecture. Swamiji said that let it be. Let not people come. We want to introduce a new culture in this Western country, that education cannot be sold. Those who are able to come up to that, let them come. We will deal with them. But we cannot put any charge, any money for education. Education has to be given free, is our culture, and we will continue to do it. In our ashram, we don't have any charge for anything at all. Even for hosting devotees or seekers also, we don't have any charge. It runs only with the voluntary contribution of the devotees or seekers, those who feel like giving. We don't ask anything. So our education was through the Gurukula system, where the students used to, even the king's son, like prince, and poorest Brahmana son also, they used to study together in the Gurukula. Nobody used to pay any money. Those who have money, they would see that the teacher and his school are looked after. They were not very well off generally. With austerity, they used to carry on. So all these things were running. It is not motivated by desire. It was not that nobody had any desire. They had desires. But this was the ultimate goal of life. That to how one can remain without having desire as the motivation. We generally replace the desire by aspiration. That we have to replace the desire by aspiration. What is the difference between desire and aspiration? Suppose aspiration is a current force working in us. Suppose you want purity. Now, if you have desire for purity, then you will expect that one day I will become pure. Or after 2 years I will become pure. Has it got any meaning? If you really aspire for purity, then you will look for purity every moment. Aspiration is a current force in you. which is seeking purity. You cannot say that after 1 year I will seek purity. There is no time gap there. It is a current force working in us. Can you say that I will love him after 2 years? The love is a current force in you. When love is there, you feel the love. It makes you expand or love others in the manner. The love is working as a current force. You cannot say that after such a time I will have love. Whereas desire is always, I want to have the first rank. Now the first rank is here. Now you are studying. If you aspire for study well, if you aspire for learning well, then you will learn well. You will write also well, and most probably you will get much better result. But what we do, we don't aspire to learn. We don't learn actually, mug up something, desire for having the good rank or good result or so. So desire always, it is for something future. And there is a gap between the current. Aspiration is a current force for something. When you feel hungry, you look for food, you eat till the hunger is subsided. It is not desire. But if you want a particular kind of food only, then it is not so. It is remembering the taste of a certain food, you are wanting that one. You cannot call it. But you may aspire for water also. That is, the body is thirsty. You look for water and you drink water when pure water is available. So, if we can eliminate desires, understanding its redundancy, then we will also blossom like the flowers in nature. It will be a full blossoming of our capacities, of all our qualities. Everything will blossom to the full. Like a flower, we will bloom. Difference, yes, with a difference, because the plant life, they do not have the self-will. We call it paurusha, self-effort and self-will. We have the self-will and self-effort. Applying that full self-effort will blossom like a flower. So this flower will be different from the plant flower. In that we will have the intelligence also full bloom and the choice to be made. The choice has to be made wisely. Every time we have to see, am I making the choice out of selfishness, greed, or making the choice out of auspicious end? As whatever we are thinking of that infinite transcendental soul, you make it the goal in your interactive life also. Whatever we are doing, whatever we are thinking, you compare with that by this, am I becoming expanded? Is my mind becoming less selfish? Am I choosing the auspicious path? Or out of greed, out of selfishness, out of hatred, I am doing something. That's a clear path. It's a thumb rule. Any course you have to take, just look within and decide. See, by taking path A, will my mind inside expand? Will I feel stronger inside? Will I feel lighter inside? Or will I feel small inside, weak inside, guilty inside, heavy inside? The choice is very clear. Whoever wants that ultimate self or to become that, will choose for whatever is taking him closer to that infinitude. There should not be any doubt.